Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has conceded what he called a painful defeat in a pivotal election that's ended his 16 years in power. With most of the votes counted, Orban told supporters that he had congratulated opposition leader Peter Magyar, who is set to become Hungary's new prime minister after his Tisza party won a clear majority. Magyar campaigned on tackling corruption and repairing ties with the European Union and NATO. Record numbers of voters turned out for the election, which is being seen as key to Budapest's future stance towards the EU, NATO, and the war in neighboring Ukraine. All right, we can take a look now at the preliminary results from Hungary's National Election Commission. And based on the ballot counting so far, Magyar's Tisza party got 53% of the vote, and Orban's Fidesz received 38%. Now, if confirmed, those figures will give Magyar a big majority in parliament. And we can go straight to Budapest now and speak with our correspondent, Ferenc Gaal, who is standing by at Viktor Orban's election watch party. So, Ferenc, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay, there you are.
See me?
Wonderful. So we just heard there that Viktor Orban congratulated his challenger. How are Orban's supporters reacting to the defeat? What have you been hearing from the people where you are, and what does it mean for the future of the Fidesz party?
The mood here was really bleak. I mean, you can probably see that most of the few hundred supporters that had gathered here have already left. We talked to a few people. A lot of people were, not surprisingly, not willing to talk to us because they were so shocked and sad about this result. The ones that we spoke to, there was a mix of disbelief, also resignation, and also worry and fear. One woman told us that she fears that now the country will be dragged into war and her sons will be sent to war. Others are worried that family benefits that they associate with the Fidesz party, that the Fidesz party has pushed, will be taken away. So there's a lot of fear really among these Fidesz voters that now the future for Hungary is going to be worse than what they think has been a good 16 years for Hungary. And really, what's to come next is of course unclear. Some people we spoke to said that they were curious to see that they accept the result, and they are now of course trusting that the new government will do its best. But overall, of course, the news here has not been good for supporters and for Viktor Orban's Fidesz party.
Well, now that it's clear that Magyar will become Hungary's next prime minister, Ferenc, how much change is expected to be seen in Hungary? Are people anticipating automatically a new government that's absolutely pro-European?
Well, certainly Magyar has signaled that he will be much more pro-European than Fidesz has been. He has said that he wants to get Hungary on track to join the euro eventually. He wants to be a strong, stable partner in NATO. And he really wants to be more cooperative towards Brussels as well. Now, how much of what he plans to do he can realize depends on the margin of his victory ultimately. There have been polls that have been carried out in the last days before the elections that project that he might actually be able to scrape a two-thirds majority in parliament, which would of course give him ample possibility to really roll back legislation by Fidesz and do his reforms. But this is not yet clear. It depends on a lot of factors, and the votes are still being counted. But, excuse me?
No, do go on.
I'm sorry, I'm hearing someone on my... Excuse me. So, it is not yet clear whether Peter Magyar will get the two-thirds majority, but I think we can expect some change in Hungarian politics, especially on the European level and the international level.
Well, maybe can you tell us a bit about how Magyar's campaign strategy differed from Orban's, and if it's known which of the voter groups shifted more dramatically towards the opposition candidate?
So what has been a characteristic of Magyar's campaign was really his unrelenting tour of the country. In the last months of the campaign, he traveled the country with sometimes 5, 6, 7 stops a day, really going into small villages, small cities as well, that have been a voter base for Fidesz in the past. And what we've been seeing now in the turnout as well is that especially regions in the east of Hungary, there was a lower turnout, where again Fidesz has been strong in the past. So it seems that he might have been able to turn around the preferences, or to turn around and win over voters in areas, especially rural areas, that have been Fidesz strongholds in the past.
Ferenc, do stand by for just a moment, because now I'd like to bring in your colleague, DW Senior International Correspondent Fanny Facsar, who is on the move in the Budapest city center. So, Fanny, I'm glad we could track you down and bring you in to the program, because I'd love to hear just what the mood is like out in the center of Budapest now that it's known that Viktor Orban has been defeated, and Hungary is set to have a new prime minister after 16 years of Orban in power. What's the mood?
It's not only about winning, it's about winning with a super majority, as it looks like from the preliminary results so far. And also what people can't believe, that in fact Prime Minister Viktor Orban concedes in his speech, congratulates via phone Mr. Magyar, the leader of the Tisza party, even though the final results are still to be awaited. So people are, some are shocked, some are in disbelief, but most of them are just simply celebrating, the ones who have supported the Tisza party and who are here now to celebrate on the street. People are hoping this is going to be a very peaceful night tonight, and we are just going to continue to cover a very, very historic day, because one needs to imagine it's been 16 years the Prime Minister Viktor Orban and his Fidesz party has been ruling this country, and especially the young people were yearning for change. So what kind of change it will be, we will just have to see as a new parliament is going to convene possibly by mid-May.
And now, Fanny, you say that on the streets there is some euphoria, there is some disbelief. Understandably, at Viktor Orban's Election Watch party, there's enormous disappointment and maybe some fear. Have there been any international reactions yet to the prospect of Peter Magyar becoming Hungary's next prime minister? Have we heard from international leaders? Maybe that's a question for Fanny or for Ferenc, if you would like to jump in.
I have to be honest, we have not been following the international reactions yet, because we were on the ground here talking to people. But what I can tell you here, the reactions from the street just next to the building are quite stark, because even from trams that are passing, people are screaming the slogans of the Tisza party, and you can really tell that, as Fanny said, a lot of people who have been voting here, who have voted for the opposition and who were hoping for an end of this 16 years of Fidesz rule, are celebrating now and coming out on the streets. And I think we can expect this to continue for a long time tonight here.
All right, that's DW Correspondent Ferenc Gaal, also Fanny Facsar, our senior international correspondent, both covering developments in Hungary with this very pivotal election signaling the start of a new era in Hungary and new leadership. Thanks to both of you. We really appreciate your reporting.